Good morning, CPU squad. We are live. Hope everybody's having a good morning. I know I am. Weather is awesome. And as you can see, I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. Got my laptop out. Why do I have my laptop out? Because I'm going to be doing a little bit of multitasking this morning. I'm going to be doing some coding practice during my morning walk before I head in to make that money in the office. All right? That's why I love this notebook. It's very lightweight and has everything I need. I got an Ubuntu installation on there. I also have a Windows 10 installation on there as well. And good to go. I do still need to rebuild it. The Ubuntu installation has been problematic to say the least. So that is definitely a project on my agenda. Anyway, so I had a project idea I wanted to share with you guys really briefly because I do want to actually do some coding, which is why I have this. Anyway, shout out to my notification squad, CPU squad. All right, guys. So here's the idea. I was thinking that what we could do is a simple, because I'm thinking about simple ideas. Yeah. All right, guys, focus. So as a project idea, I was thinking about simple things that we could use what we've covered so far, so we cover certain things, use those skills to do a project. So I'm looking for simple things since we're still in the beginning phases. One idea I had was so I know many of you are maybe looking at making career changes, or you're starting a career. So maybe you are in a process where you're sending out resumes and stuff like that, maybe using these online websites like Dice and things like that. Motorcycles, I love motorcycles. All right, guys. So one strategy that I recommend to you guys, I'll give you guys a tip in the middle of telling you about this project idea. If you're using these job websites, you want to keep your resumes fresh, because the recruiters, when they look at the websites, they look and see, which resumes are fresh. Those are the ones who are actively seeking work, and that's who they want to work with. They don't want to really mess around with people who are not necessarily looking, right? So they're going to focus on those who are actively looking. So the fresh resumes get priority, top of the pile. So as a strategy, what you'd want to do is update your resume on a daily basis at least, and upload it to the websites that you're using, right? So that's an effective strategy. But you don't know the logic that these companies use on their websites, right? How do you know that they have not accounted for that, right? So there's some kind of a thing that they have set up on their webpage where if they see you uploading the same resume, like, you don't get the same credit. Like, this guy, he thinks he's slick. I mean, seriously, if the website is really done really well, then you would be aware of, uploading the same document. I mean, it's a simple check, do a comparison, see if the document being uploaded with the same name. Well, I guess check and see the name. That's the easiest thing. Check to see that the name is the same. File sizes are the same. And then if those match, those are easy things to check, then do an actual scan of the contents and see if there's anything different about the document that's being uploaded. See, if you do it that way, you can make the website more efficient, because you don't want to be scanning every resume that's uploaded. But then again, I think they already do that, because like Dice, I think, pulls your skills off your resume. So that might be redundant. But anyway, I would do a check on the file name, file size, and then based on the results, this to determine whether I want to do a comparison. Last resume with current resume. And then if I notice that it's the same resume, then I mean, it's still a good sign if you're uploading a resume, even if it's the same one. I mean, that's showing activity. I mean, clearly, if you're not looking for work, you're probably not going to be uploading a resume. So anyone uploading a resume, same or otherwise, is someone who is high probability that they're actively seeking work. right? But I don't know, maybe they might prioritize actual unique resumes, right? So the idea would be that you should make a slight change to your resume every day so it's actually a new resume, right? Just in case, right? So it looks legitimate. However, why do it manually? You're trying to be a programmer and you're manually updating your resume. How about this? And this is the idea I came up with. Maybe you guys can come up with a more elegant solution. This is just something I came up, this morning as I was leaving. How about if you create a list of a group of alternate words for part of a sentence in the resume, right? So the list has 3 words that all mean the same thing. They all fit into the sentence, right? So you create that list. And then in the resume source, you put that word as a variable, right? So whatever is displayed for that word is going to be whatever is going to basically be that variable. So all you do is you do you loop through the list. So you can create a script that basically it loops through a list. It's got to obviously keep track of its place, because unless you're going to leave it running the whole time, every time you start it over, it needs to know what the last word was, right? So it'll loop through a list, pick one of the words, insert it into that variable, and then output the resume with the word choice, right? Then leave some kind of placeholder so it's aware of what word was last chosen, right? Or actually, you don't have to even do that, right? All you really need to do is you just want to make sure you're not substituting the same word, right? Because if it's looping through a list, well, actually, if you're looping through a list, then every time you do that, you're going to always get the same word, right? Because whatever word is first in the list is going to be the one that's chosen. So that'd be kind of pointless. So we'd have to add a randomizer. But if you add a randomizer, the randomizer might actually randomly choose the word from the last a run, right? So what we do is add a randomizer with an exclusion of whatever the word is in the resume currently. So scan the resume, see what the last word that was used was, and basically assign that to an exclusion or excluded word variable, and then use that to, wow, this is actually something we're going to cover in future lessons, how to delete entries from a list. So with a tuple, you cannot delete from the list, but in Python we're talking about, obviously. With a tuple, you cannot delete from the list, but with a actual list, you can. So we can just use the delete command to delete that record from the list, and then run the randomizer with all the word choices except or excluding the one from the last resume. And there you go. So now it's going to randomly choose between whatever words are left that were not used the last time. So every day there's going to be a different word versus the previous run. So pretty much you could just run this, maybe feed it with your when I say feed it, give it the argument of your resume name, even better. Make it process any resume files in a directory that it is. So what I mean by that is, let's say you have so you have a directory where the script is, right? All you do is copy the latest resume to that directory. When the script runs, it'll check for the existence of a resume file, right? Scan it to see what word is in there, right? Run the randomizer to pick a new word from the list that was not used in the last resume that was found in the folder, right? And basically insert that into a new resume that you can then upload. So maybe you might want to create an input-output structure, right? So you have one directory that's an input, another directory that's an output. So I think I'm covering up the microphone. I hope the sound isn't messed up. It's kind of weird where the microphone location is. So you have an input directory and an output directory. So you always copy the resume to the input directory, right? And then when the script runs, you just go to the output directory and you're gonna get your fresh resume, and you basically upload from there. So the procedure to run it would basically be copy the resume to the input folder, run the script, and then go to your job site. And when you upload resume, you just upload from the output directory. So that's all it is. You always upload from the output directory, and the output directory is updated by the script, right? So I think that'd be a cool project. It's pretty simple, really simple. All we need, let's see, what do we need to do to be able to do this? What do we need? I see Cal Evans is listening in. I just wanted to check to see the chat. Good morning, Mr. Evans. CPU squad. Oh, nice. All right, man. He says he's also developing. So what do we need to make this happen? Oh, that's not the angle. That's not the angle we want. So what do we need to make this happen? Basically, we would need. All right. So there's actually a random module. So we need to import that. Obviously, we need file processing logic. So we need. We're not doing file processing. What will we do? So look at the resume. So in the script itself is the resume contents, and one word is listed as a variable. So the entire resume is basically a long string. No, I'm making this overly complicated. We don't need to be messing with the resume in terms of like having the whole resume in the script. That's silly. What we would do is just do a replace. Do a replace. We can set a target. So we basically we do need file processing. We need to develop or use whatever modules are required, or commands or keywords are required to basically scan through a text document and look for words or strings, right? And we need to be able to set a range. So we're looking for a word that's in between two words. So let's say the word is I will succeed, and the word is will. That's a target word, will. So we want to look for in between I and succeed. Problem with that is that's a little bit inaccurate, because let's say there's another sentence that has a similar structure. There's another I something will, right? So we get two hits. So we might want to also look into being able to target by line. So we have to figure that out. That's stuff we got to figure out in the design phase. So we might want to figure out how we can target. Look at a document, go to a certain line, look for one string and another string, and then whatever is in between it, whatever string is in between these two strings, do a replace. So basically do a substitution. Now I could do that in sed very easily. This is a very simple basic substitution, but we'd want to do it ultimately in Python. I mean, if we want to be lazy, we can import the OS module. The OS module gives you access to the operating system. So with the OS module, you should be able to basically, you should be able to use sed, right? So there's an idea. So we need to be able to scan a text document, be able to target a line, be able to specify a range in terms of string in between strings, be able to do a basically find and replace ultimately. Keep it simple. We need to be able to do a find and replace with a line target, right? So find and replace on a particular line, and that's the most of it. I mean, obviously we're going to use a list as well. We also need to include logic for the modification of a list, right? That's very easy to do. And I think that's most of it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Any comments you guys have, suggestions or ideas, go ahead and comment below. And I'm gonna actually get my coding practice going and step up my walking pace. Actually, you know what? That's too much. I'm not gonna step up any walking pace because I'm gonna be coding. So there's only so much my brain can handle. I'm not trying to run into anybody or anything like that. I do need to be aware of my surroundings. The beauty is I am a motorcyclist, and as a motorcyclist you have to be very, very alert and aware of your surroundings, which is how I'm able to actually code and walk at the same time. Because even though I can be in deep concentration on my code, at the same time I'm fully aware of my surroundings, my peripherals. I'm actually many times more aware than people who aren't coding. I will see people that are kind of walking into my path and they won't see me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one who's coding and I see them and they don't see me. But I am human, so the faster I walk, that's gonna require more brain power. So I'm gonna take an easy pace and walk so I can actually do some practice on my notebook. All right, guys, this is the CPU channel. Shout out to my notification squad, CPU squad. Mount up. Let's get those likes up. Get those likes up, CPU squad. All right, guys. Until the next episode, let's make a quick little detour. All right, ladies, have an awesome day. And again, let me know your comments below. Oh, Nara's just entered the room. He is in the house. All right, ladies.